For all the latest on the SaWGuY podcast, be sure to subscribe and don't forget that bell icon. Welcome to the SaWGuY podcast. As always, y'all know, I am the SaWGuY, and you're joining me from the grave. Ooh, ah. I know I've been bringing out all these classic gems, some of these forgotten ones, but you know, there's one that's actually been on my list that I've been wanting to bring about, and I know if you guys follow me on social media, on my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, and I did discuss this film, and the film that I want to talk about is The Crush. If you're my age and come from my generation, most of you guys will remember The Crush because, you know, Alicia Silverstone was in it, and man, she was a fucking babe back in the day. But it is a really good film because not only does it star her, but it also stars Cary, who you might remember him as Dr. Gordon from Saw. It also stars Jennifer Rubin from Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, and it also stars Kurtwood Smith, which I know most people remember him as the dad from That 70's Show. I still remember him as the bad guy from RoboCop playing Clarence Bonadicker.
You cocksucker! I work for Dick Jones! Dick Jones! He's the number 2 guy at OCP!
But it's a really good film. You know, it takes place back in the early 90s. I want to say about 92, 93 this film was released. And, you know, the whole story follows Cary, and, you know, he's a graduate student. He just graduated and everything like that. He's living in Southern California because at the time everything was expensive. It's still expensive as shit out there. But he's looking for a place to rent. So he finds out there's this classified ad, and he goes, I'm going to go check out this guest house. Ends up being Kurtwood Smith's, like, mansion, but he has, like, a guest house in the back. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll rent it out to you, you know, because I guess he was a teacher. They imply that he was a teacher or instructor. And, you know, he goes to the back and shows him. This is when you see Alicia Silverstone, because, you know, she's actually his daughter. And, you know, she ends up developing this weird little kinky crush for him. And, you know, he wants no part of it. And throughout the whole movie, you know, he's getting settled in and she's talking to him and everything. And it's this back and forth, like, cat and mouse game, you know? And she'll mess with him until a point where, you know, he's just like, whoa, hold on, you're still young, you know, I can't do this. Because they implied the age that he was about, like, in his mid-30s, early 30s, and she was, like, 17, 18. And I don't know what the fuck it was in the 90s, but it was a thing in the 90s where there was, like, young women, I'm talking about, like, 17, 18, and 19, going after dudes that were, like, in their 30s, like, early 30s, mid-30s. I don't know, it was a 90s thing. If you guys remember that shit, let me know in the comments below, because I don't know what the hell that was about in the 90s. But anyways, you know, so they're going back and forth on this and this whole cat and mouse game. He ends up getting a girlfriend who ends up being Jennifer Rubin. And, you know, the whole story, I don't want to spoil too much for you, but there is one gruesome death scene that I'm just like, oh, right? So there's a scene where, you know, she's stalking him and everything like that. She's stalking Cary, and he leaves. Well, his girlfriend's left behind in the house, in the guest house. And I guess she saw them, like, make out or have sex or whatever, and she gets pissed. So she goes in her patio. She sees that there's this bee nest. She pulls the fucking bee nest and throws it through the air vent. And, you know, this chick, she gets stung like a million fucking times with all these bees just flying around. Zzz. It almost reminds me of, like, Candyman for a little bit. The ending was kind of flat, I'll be honest on that. But, you know, the whole story of this was really good. There was a lot of good back and forth with this. And as I said, the ending, it could have been better. But, you know, for what it was, and during the time in the early 90s where everything just was becoming thrillers and suspense. I mean, the slasher genre was just on its way out. And then we all know it came back in 96 with Scream. But The Crush, go check that out. I believe it's on Amazon Prime right now. I know I had to look it up, and I tried to find it on DVD, but now they re-released it on Blu-ray, so you can find it on Blu-ray for cheaper, like, you know, 10, 15 bucks. Pretty cool movie. But thank you all for tuning in from the grave, and I will catch you all next time, as always.